Jeff Cohen here with Skai, and I'm here at Amazon Port at Cannes 2026 with Jamie Fellows, Director of Media Planning at Amazon. You've been with Amazon for
5.5 years now, Jeff.
5.5 years.
Great to be here with you.
Yeah, and I know we worked together back at my time at Amazon, and really wanted to just have a general conversation about media and like where things have come from and where things are going, and maybe what brands and marketers can be thinking about. So, for a long time, commerce media really began at and it ended with search, right? And but what we've been watching is that over time, that has kind of shifted, and that's what we want to dig into a little bit today. So, as that funnel starts to reorganize itself, as the Amazon DSP is no longer being used in the ways that it was being used before, right? It's not just strictly upper funnel. It's not just strictly conversion. It's really throughout the funnel. I'd like to just really get an understanding of how is Amazon with tools like Brand Plus, Performance Plus, retargeting, all as different motions that you can use. How are marketers using that as new ways to kind of drive their business forward?
So what we've seen really is an evolution of the ADSP, right? So previously there was a lot, as you said, around retargeting capabilities and how we address audiences, right, on and off of Amazon. And now with the introduction of Prime Video, and we're moving towards full funnel. Like this is what we talk about, right? How do you connect upper funnel and lower funnel together? And we really see Brand Plus, Performance Plus, and retargeting all really in one motion working together, right? And so you can use Brand Plus for upper funnel. Sorry, my hands move. Performance Plus for lower funnel, right? And then retargeting capabilities to really connect across. And it's about those ad products actually working together to drive the best results and for the best investments.
And it's almost about it's almost to a point where we don't even need to think anymore about the word upper funnel and lower funnel, right? I think there's a natural tendency as marketers for us to try to bucket either advertising or spend into an upper funnel or a lower funnel, but it's really about meeting the customer in different points of the journey.
Yeah, it's those touch points with the customer and how do you maximize the touch points with the customer at the right time. I think the other terms we like to use are brand and performance, right? And it's less about like upper funnel or brand, right, or lower funnel performance. And it's about how do you use those touch points and how do we move the customer, right, basically to the objective that we're looking for, the really outcome that the advertiser is looking for.
Yeah, and that's definitely a shift in the way that brands and marketers have been thinking. And we could have a fun historical conversation about how brands have used the DSP over time, but I don't think that's as important as maybe how it's being used today.
Yeah. And I still think we're seeing the shift, right? So, some of our more progressive advertisers, some of the advertisers that work with Skai, that they're moving in that direction more quickly, where others are, it's a little more of a slower process.
Yeah, and the shift is also, I think, in the inventory, right? So the inventory that they're able to get through the DSP. You mentioned the ability to access Prime Video, the ability to access open web, right? There's a lot more inventory that's available to them through the signals and the audiences that they would be using that allow them to reach new audiences, reach new potential shoppers, and then obviously, most importantly, measure the impact of those campaigns.
Exactly. And we've increased those touch points with those customers, as you said. So if we've increased those touch points with those customers, then it's allowed us to really be able to do full funnel advertising. All right, Jeff. Skai sits across hundreds of publishers and watches how brands actually run Amazon DSP alongside sponsored ads and other retailers. From that vantage point, is the market catching up to that one motion thinking, or are most brands still running those in silos?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think you kind of alluded to it before, and I think it depends on where brands are in their journey, right? And I'd say that brands that are to the leader side of the category, meaning that they're making larger investments, they're able to see the full funnel and connect both brand and performance marketing into one bucket, are able to understand how these investments are made, how these investments ultimately impact the goals that they're trying to accomplish. And I specifically use the term goals that they're trying to accomplish because I think one of the other major shifts that we've seen in the market is that it's no longer just about like driving sales, right? It may be a specific goal around driving new to brand, or it may be a goal about expanding category or launching a new product. And so what we remind our marketers all the time is that you have to start with what are the goals that you're trying to accomplish, and then how do you use the different media that's available to you to ultimately drive those goals, and then measure the impact, both the impact on a channel like Amazon as well as the impact of what happens across channels. Because one of the beauties that our brands see is that when they're spending money on Amazon, they're driving sales in other channels. And when they're able to pull that all together, they're able to get a better understanding and a better picture of how their advertising dollars are really working better for them.
Yeah, I think it's great to see and understand their measurement of their impact beyond Amazon.
Right. And I think like we started again, like we're a little historical here, but we started in this very siloed world where we were watching the find, search, buy down to conversion and measuring the success. And in this new world, we know that users are coming in, or shoppers are coming in from all different directions. They're researching in one area, they're making decisions in another area, and they're buying in another area. So when you're running a Prime Video ad, it may drive in-store sales, right? And you want to be able to capture that ultimately so that you can see the true impact of everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's jump into AMC a little bit here. There's a pretty large gap between theory and execution. Brings me to maybe one of the more underutilized tools in the Amazon stack right now, which you have had a front row seat into. As AMC started as a place really to just pull a report, right?
Yep.
See a funnel that you didn't have a chance to see before. It's really become something way more foundational and functional to the business. So as brands look to unlock this, what are they doing to move from maybe the way that they were using it before to from the way they were doing it before to the more powerful opportunities and first-party signals that are coming from it today?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's always been, privacy safe.
Yep.
Like environment for us.
Yeah, it took me weeks to figure out how to say pseudomized data.
Exactly. It's such a, it's like one of the harder things to say, right?
Yes.
And I think everyone really understands what a clean room is now.
Right.
Right. In terms of the environment. But it really was like custom analytics and reporting.
Yep.
Like that's what it started as. And really what it's evolved to is like a foundational piece, right? Provides customization across all of Amazon ads.
Yep.
And we've just really evolved from like a base, give people the ability to run their own analytics, to now actually you really can do, I didn't say anything, but they can really drive their own experiences through Amazon ads, right? Through AMC.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of improvement and development that have allowed for better prompting, for the better understanding, better visualization of the reports that come out of it. That's why tools like Skai have developed prompt libraries, so you can understand what are the best prompts to get out of it what you need. And I think it's a very sophisticated product that when a marketer learns to unlock it, they have this major aha moment because they see how it can really build and grow the audience that they're trying to reach. And I think that's one of the parts that is maybe still underutilized. A lot of brands have their AMC instance, but they aren't necessarily taking it to the point of creating new audiences and then using those audiences to activate against the DSP to find new potential buyers.
Yeah. I think AMC provides a lot of flexibility, right? And partners like Skai have really helped the advertisers and the brands unlock that. And the big focus for us has been accessibility of that, right? So that's why we have like AMC Assistant, right? Ads Agent. We've been introducing capabilities to be able to make the like foundational like value of AMC
right.
much more accessible to brands and to advertisers.
Yeah. when you can connect the signals that are coming from Amazon with the first-party signals from a brand, that's where you can start to unlock even more power from AMC.
Yeah, it's very much the case, right? So it's that combination of like the understanding of the customer, right, and the signal from the brand with our understanding of the customer, the signal, right, from Amazon. And recently we've introduced more Amazon data that was previously available as a paid service. It's now available for free. And it's because we saw the customers that were using it were extracting a lot of value, right? You can use it. We saw a lot of usage for audience development, but now it's actually available for insights and measurement too.
Yeah, and I think I say this almost in every video that I do now, which is you have to test, you have to iterate, right? You have to continually experiment.
Yeah, I think it's part of the flexibility, right? The people that really truly engage with AMC would drive the most value through the solutions.
So marketers are continually asking for incrementality that they can define and defend and measure across channels. What's Amazon's measurement philosophy, and how is AMC opening up these signals that are needed for this work to be done?
Yeah. So we fundamentally believe, right, that advertisers, brands need to be able to understand the performance of the investments that they're making, right? And so that's our philosophy, which is like giving them the capabilities to be able to do that. It could be through AMC, as we talked about, and the flexibility that we provide there, right, through a partner or through a third-party measurement provider. I think that's what we're trying to do, is facilitate that measurement.
Yeah, and I think that's why Skai has really worked on developing our, now in beta AMC Hub, which is a new way of interacting with AMC within the Skai platform. That's why we recently announced at our shoppable event our new measurement hub, which is bringing in incrementality and the ability to start looking at incrementality across channels. And another reason why we're just really doubling down on these types of investments and building out query libraries, making it easier to access, easier to use, and easier to understand what you're doing. And I think that's ultimately what the marketers need is the ease of use behind all of this, because sometimes it can be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I would agree. And then, but you want to fundamentally understand the value of the investment that you're making, right? And like, we want to make those signals available and the information available so that you as a partner can do that. So I would love to actually see what was it AMC Hub?
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to see AMC Hub.
Sounds like we have an action item.
Yeah.
Steal from my old Amazon terminology days.
Yeah. I think the other thing for us is like we're also introducing new forms of measurement, right? So long-term sales for us is a big one. Where you can actually understand the impact of the investment now that will drive sales in the future, and we can each of the high value actions, right, that someone takes along the way, right? That conversion path reporting. And so we have also some that we're introducing that partners like Skai are incorporating into your measurements, and then we're also providing the flexibility with AMC and to be able to then produce it like unique and innovative measurement solutions.
Yeah, because not everything happens in the 13 months that everything used to be within the window of. And so the 5-year look back window, I know, is a really big movement forward. The ability to look at more lifetime value of your customer across that longer period of time.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, brands are making significant investment in tentpole events, and tentpole events are usually building larger audiences that will then interact and buy from you at other points in time, not necessarily just specifically during those. And when you start to do the upper funnel investments, you have to look at that longer period of time to understand what the longer term impact is.
Yeah, agree. I think that makes something like AMC even more valuable in the future.
Right.
Jeff, at Skai, you've been building on Amazon Bedrock agents. What does that actually look like in practice? What does an agent do for a commerce team week to week? And how does it change where the humans on that team focus their time?
Yeah, this is, I think, a big question that a lot of marketers and brands are thinking about. And we have been working with Amazon Bedrock for years. Our engineering team actually speaks at the AWS reInvent conference on a regular basis. And we worked very closely with the Bedrock team while we were developing Celeste. One, to understand how we can best build an agent that can bring the right information back, and two, to figure out how to do it best within the Bedrock system. And that's, I think, one of the beauties of AWS. When we start to look at agents in general, we believe that the world is moving from operators to builders. Yeah. Humans are necessary to be in the loop, but we as operators are becoming builders on a daily basis. And whether you're using like a Claude Cowork, and you're building just a simple workflow to go check your email, or you're checking your Slack messages, right? Those are some of like the simplistic things that I'm doing as a builder, where I can now go in and I can see, I can do a basic search across Slack to understand what type of conversations were taking place. When we start to look at marketers and operators and agents in the future, they're going to become builders, and building agentic workflows and operating systems are going to be necessary, and agents are going to be necessary to manage those, giving them the ability to, not just replace what they're doing, but build upon what they're doing. Bring in like what we like to call sanity checks, right? So when X plus Y happens, then this is the check you want to run across it. And all of this is a brave new world, to coin a phrase from a long time ago. Not to coin a phrase, to steal a phrase.
Steal a phrase.
Right, steal a phrase. Definitely didn't coin that one. And the agents are part of this journey, but ultimately as marketers, we have to become the builders on top of this and understand where we sit and where we need human in the loop, and where our jobs shift and change over time.
Yeah. So it's driving a tremendous more efficiency, but I think it's also, there's going to be so much change in the industry over the next few years.
Yeah, I think there's a natural inclination for this to become operational efficiency. But what I think we're seeing, and Skai has done this from a top-down company reorganization. So not only are we developing new agents and new tools externally for our customers to use within Skai, but we're also building new agentic workflows inside our company. And what it's doing is it's freeing people up to be doing different types of jobs than they were doing before. And while that may be scary in some regards, it's also very liberating in other regards, because you're spending your time doing something that's significantly more valuable to yourself and to the business.
Yeah, love that. And then it comes back to like value for the advertisers and brands that you work with.
Right, exactly. And at the end of the day, advertisers and brands are going to be looking to make their workflows more efficient and more effective.
Agreed.
They're going to be looking to build checks in to understand what advertising is working and not working. And then they're going to want to be able to make the shifts and changes that they need to optimize when there's optimizations that can be made.
Cool. Is it Celeste that provides all of this? Is that what?
So we're actually doing it in two parts within Skai. So the first one is an updated version of Celeste that sits within the UI UX of the Skai interface. Okay. And then we recently announced at our shoppable event, and it'll go into beta in the summer, a new product called Skai Studio, which is a native agentic operating system that's specifically designed for marketers. And I think that's what's critical, is that it's not just an LLM, right? It's not training an LLM. It's actually agnostic to LLMs, but it's a system for builders to build and manage agentic workflows.
That's super cool.
Yeah, we'll get you a demo of that too.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
All right. So we kind of went on a little tangent there around agents, but it's the world that we live in today. Let's try to bring this all back together, because I think that the best way to make it real is to maybe follow a single audience and a single dollar through this journey. So walk us through an audience is built on AMC. It's activated across the DSP and in sponsored ads. It's measured in one place, and then it all streams impressions across the whole landscape all the way to checkout. What does this actually look like in the end for a user?
Yeah. I actually think you summarized quite a bit of it, right? So it really is that you can develop, like using Amazon signals, right? And customer signals, as we said, you can develop a unique audience, right? You can use that within the DSP, right? And you can also basically effectively use that within sponsored ads. We can then measure across, right? It's about understanding the impact of that investment, right? Using AMC, using other tools that the measurement tools have been developed, see what the results are, and then you iterate.
Yep.
Right. And like that's the key. The key is like producing these experiments, being able to iterate, and then learning over time. And every investment that you're making within Amazon ads is like improving your next investment.
Yeah, and if you want to think of this in like a crawl, walk, run, you can almost use something like a performance plus and a brand plus as like a crawl, because
Agreed.
this is just kind of using Amazon's AI to optimize on your behalf. And then when you get more into the walk and run, then you're pulling your own audiences from AMC, and you're expanding your campaigns into more upper funnel ads, trying Prime Video, trying Twitch, trying some of these other avenues. So it's kind of like you have your choice of let Amazon do it for you, or kind of go out and build on your own.
Well, it is about how these investments in these channels actually work together. And I think that's what we're seeing over time. That's when we talk about full funnel. It's like actually having those investments work together, right? And so it's like you make say within Prime Video, right? You make that buy, right? Then you want to be able to actually like continue your interactions with those customers,
right?
As they're moving downstream and down the funnel, right? And eventually you'll see them, if it's something that actually can be bought on Amazon, then you'll see them actually show up, right? And we'll be able to engage them and get them hopefully to purchase through Amazon, or we have an influence on the purchase outside of Amazon, which is just as important.
Yeah, and I think one of the easiest ways that I had this pictured for me was that when you move up the funnel, it's really about expanding the audience and the reach that you have access to.
Agreed.
And it starts to become exponential, right? When you start thinking about a larger reach like a Prime Video or a Twitch, or using any of the other properties that Amazon has, because that really allows you to just really expand the reach of the customers while still using those same signals that have built you the right audiences at other stages of the funnel.
I agree. And you can understand what's highly performant. And you see brands that they build their brand on Amazon, right? And you can do that, and you can understand the impact of that.
Yeah, it's always great to see, and there's always a new one. There's almost a new one almost every year that comes up. Then, I always found it funny because people would be like, but we're not, and then they would insert some brand, and I'm like, yeah, but you have to remember that brand wasn't that 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And so that's what you have to think about, is really more of the where you want to be as opposed to where you are today. Yeah. Jamie, before we wrap up here, I'd love to see, are there any final thoughts you want to share with Skai's customers and audience?
Yeah. I think summarizing a little bit what we talked about, right? The value of thinking full funnel, right? Thinking across all Amazon ads products and how they work together. Really with, Amazon DSP is the hub we talked about with Brand Plus and Performance Plus. But like how do all your ad products work together? Can you use AMC to measure, right? And that's critical. And AMC should be, as you said, it's an underutilized portion, right, of the Amazon ad technology stack, right? But it's key to then understanding the value of those investments. And then what I would say, we talked about agents for quite a bit. It's changing the landscape of how we operate. It has to be coming in for your brands that you work with, right? Into their daily operations and their teams. And they need to make sure that, you're evolving quick enough. And then you're also pushing Skai as a partner, Amazon Ads as a partner, to really facilitate that through agentic operations.
Yeah, I think those are three great points to, and definitely push us, right? We like when people push us. I know you guys like when people push you. Agreed. It's where innovation comes from. So
absolutely.
Thank you for joining me today, and hope you have a great end of Cannes.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff.